Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. And Bobby, Nicole looking to have maybe a bigger impact than initially expected.
Yeah, well, for us, it's depending on the track. If it goes further to the north, we have less. This one looks pretty close to us at this point. But remember, this started as a non-tropical system. It's called subtropical. There's a big high to the north, cool air, warm, moist air to the south, and the low pressure developed. In between the two, you get that pressure gradient and the wind developing. Look at the wind field right now. From the center of the storm now, almost 500 miles to the north. That yellow shaded area is tropical storm force winds, better than 40-mile-per-hour winds, and you can see the whole thing is dragging this direction. Now, some of the good news with this is as this moves across the state and then curves back up, look at the bottom side of it. There's not as much wind on the back side. The backside is what we need to watch Thursday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, for a little bit of surge. I think we will get some wind, but it will be weakening, weaker than what it is right now by the time it gets here. And so that will be well for us to limit the amount of surge that we're going to see. Let's take you live outside right now. I want to get you started with the Armature Works, watching the river. River levels actually should be running a little bit on the lower side, especially in the bay, because the wind's out of the north-northeast at 18 miles per hour, and we've had gusts in the 20s. Grant was saying gusts in the 40s over on the East Coast. 76 degrees. I was out at the bus stop with the kids this morning. I was thinking, this is not hurricane weather. I mean, it was cool this morning and breezy and comfortable. That too helps us. It doesn't let Nicole get too strong, especially as it's coming in our direction. It'll be weakening by the time it gets here. Some outer rain bands, just a little bit of light shower activity now. This will thicken up, and we'll see more and more showers, especially east of I-75 throughout the afternoon. There's the storm itself and those heavier rain bands. Winds right now in the teens, gusts to 29 in Tampa, Sarasota, gusts to 30 in Lakeland. Those numbers likely going to gust in the 60s by the time we get towards tomorrow, really this time. So here's the forecast, down through the 70s with scattered showers getting more and more numerous as we move through tonight. The worst of the weather gets here after about 2 or 3 in the morning tomorrow morning. I showed you the track. This is 7 a.m. The core is right here, right? And then it'll move right across Polk County, Hillsborough, Pasco, Hernando, Citrus. I think Pasco, Hernando, Citrus is probably going to get a little bit worse weather than what you saw during Ian, just because Ian was so far to the south. But still, that's 35, 55-mile-per-hour winds with some higher gusts. Forecast models starting to trend a little bit to the north, not a whole lot. Our model is doing that as well. And you can see by the time we get towards about, well, it stopped. It went right past it. But this is tomorrow morning and then moving all the way up. So the worst weather for us is about 2 a.m. tonight, tomorrow morning, through about 2 to 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. All right, now wind-wise, I'll show you this here. You can see it's going to make landfall somewhere around 2 a.m. over on the southeast coast, and then coming right across Polk County, somewhere in this area here, right across Orlando. Notice the winds generally in the 40s and 50s, with gusts a little bit higher than that. That's why I say 30s to 50s. But sustained winds at Tampa by tomorrow morning this time, really, we're looking at in the 20s, and then tomorrow afternoon, those winds all come down as the storm is pulling away. And remember, it will be weakening at this time as well, too. So this is a product from the Hurricane Center here, the color shading. And what we're thinking, 30 to 60 here in the Tampa Bay area, a little less, thank goodness, you get down towards Fort Myers, Lee County area. But it will be coming in off the water later tomorrow. So tonight it's out of the northeast. Tomorrow it's out of the northwest and west. The highest chance for any wind. These are kind of peak forecast numbers here. That's the actual forecast that you're seeing there. I'm thinking gusts in the 60s. Arrival time. It's all this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow. In fact, it's really tonight and through the day tomorrow. Chances for tropical storm force winds? Pretty good chance is what you're saying there, right? Yeah. Most areas, especially Tampa, Lakeland, Polk County, northward, will have a better chance. Now, rainfall. Pretty decent amount of rainfall. I'm thinking 2 to 4 inches, and some areas will get more than that. But notice Venice, Northport, an inch or so versus, 2 to 4 in the Tampa Bay area versus 4 to 5 possible, especially the further north you go, Hernando and Citrus, because you'll be on the north side of that wall. Here are the threats and the timing. 30 to 60 mile per hour winds, 2 to 6 inches of rain, of course, the highest to the north. Most of this is tonight through tomorrow afternoon. We will have to watch the surge tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours for those areas, especially from Anclote northward, especially I think Hernando, like Hudson, you get up towards Weeki Wachee area, and up, of course, Crystal River is where we'll see a little bit more surge. Now look, you get a hurricane or a tropical storm this time of the year, you're going to get cooler air on the backside, and that's exactly what happens on Friday. In fact, look at the weekend, a beautiful weekend ahead.